How to perform file operations in Node. Think for 5 seconds and you know the answer. The answer is use the inbuilt FS module for file operations like reading, writing, and manipulating the files. Okay. How you will handle HTTP requests and responses in Node application. Your time starts now. Tick tick 1, tick tick 2, tick tick 3. Time over. Answer is use either a framework like express.js or the built-in module like HTTP to handle HTTP requests and responses. How you will handle processing large amounts of file data very efficiently. Think. And the answer is use the built-in stream module to create readable and writable streams and pipe them together for efficient data processing. How to execute its task after a certain delay in Node application. You know the answer very well, and same is applicable in JavaScript also. Use the set timeout and set interval functions to execute the task after the specified delay. How to implement centralized error handling and logging in Express application. Think for 5 seconds and tick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The answer is use middleware in express.js to catch errors globally. Log them then using a logging library like Winston library and return the appropriate error responses to clients. Okay. How to optimize the performance of database queries in Node application. Think. Answer is use indexes, query optimization techniques, and appropriate database models to improve the performance of database queries in Node application. Okay. How to handle form submissions and post requests in an Express application. In other words, the question is how you will parse the HTTP request. So the answer is use the body parser middleware to parse the incoming request bodies and handle the form submissions in post request. See, sometimes we know the answer, but the interviewer asks the question in a different way, right? So then try to ask the interviewer, you have to do what? Ask the interviewer to elaborate the question bit more, okay? So that's how you can answer the question. How to connect to a MongoDB database in a Node application? The answer is use the MongoDB package to connect to the MongoDB database using the Mongo connect method or function. Okay. How to perform CRUD operations on a MongoDB collection in Node application? Big question, but the short answer is use the methods like insert one, update one, delete one, etc. These are provided by the MongoDB driver, which you will install first in your Node application, and then you can perform the CRUD operations on the collection. How to automate the deployment process of a Node application? Yeah, I think I did not covered it earlier, but sometimes the questions can be out of syllabus also, right? And the answer is use continuous integration and continuous deployment tools, CI/CD tools like Jenkins, Travis CI, Circle CI, or the GitHub Actions, which is very popular, to automate the deployment process of Node application. And yes, these are automate tools. You can do manual deployment without these tools also. That's not a problem, but these are for automation. How to parse and validate JSON data from client request in an Express application. And in short, the question is how to parse the JSON, and you can use the express.json middleware to parse the JSON data from the request body and validate it using the validation libraries like JOI or AJV. How to monitor the performance of a Node application deployed on a cloud platform? Okay, again it's a out of syllabus question, but I think senior candidates can answer it who have experience with cloud. So you can use cloud monitoring services like this AWS CloudWatch is there, In Google Cloud, it is Google Cloud Monitoring we call. Or there are third-party tools also like New Relic, Datadog. These basically used to monitor and analyze the performance of the deployed applications. Okay. How to handle and store passwords securely? Tick tick 1, tick tick 2, tick tick 3. Answer is use libraries like bcrypt for password hashing and salting to securely store password in the database, and I already covered it in a separate question before. How to log incoming HTTP request in an Express application? Think. The answer is create custom middleware using app.us in Express.js to create custom middleware and call it from the app.use in Express to log the request details, such as the request detail like URLs, request methods, request header, and the request time stamp, like when the request arrived in your web API, REST API. So that's how you can log. Can a REST API share its resources with applications from different domains by default? And I'm sure again you know the answer, but this is due to the indirect question. You have to think about it, and the answer is no. By default, REST API cannot share resources with the applications from different domain due to the same origin policy enforced by the web browser. Okay, that policy name is codes. However, codes headers or method can be, because those codes header will block the different domain access. But yes, you can allow them by do some coding and using the codes middleware in your REST API. Okay.